Good morning, everyone. It's great to see all of you on this fine Tuesday morning. My name is Jim Reinheimer, and here we've got.
I am Rebecca Gibney, and we are at Blast Intermediate Unit 17, and we are excited to have you for our Tuesdays with Jim and Bex over some coffee talk.
There we go.
Jim, how was your week?
Busy but good. How about you?
Quite busy as well, but it was good. Weekend was refreshing, so that was good. Why don't we talk about, our series? It's called Overbooked?
Yes.
But we're also talking about, how do you find ways to not feel overbooked? So what did you do this week to help you with not feeling overbooked?
I learned that I stopped trying to multitask and start focusing on one thing at a time.
Oh.
And I found just take it day by day with my role to put my best into that role that day. And in the evening to take some time for me. And I spent my weekend with my mom and just enjoyed just company that weekend and with the dogs and just it was a nice, refreshing, sunny weekend. So, which was nice.
So you're saying that you are working on your multitasking and just being present in one task, which I think we can all relate to. Do you have any strategies that you are trying right now? Because I've got a million Post-its around my office, so.
I'm finding that if I focus on too many things, like I have several projects this week, so part of me, the anxiety level is really going up, especially the last day or two I'm feeling. But at the same time, I think if I try to focus on too many things at once, I'm not giving my all. So I'm trying to focus on one area at a time. I've never been great at multitasking. And recently I've been told, honestly, doing one thing at a time is actually better because when you try to multitask, you're not effective.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
But that was actually in a recent training last week that I was supporting with. So
great. Gotta love learning things as we go that can relate to our lives.
So. Yes. So how about you? What did you do in this last week to feel?
To feel not overbooked? I am not gonna lie. I spent some time disconnecting, and I started a home workout kickboxing program, which I look completely ridiculous doing, but I am enjoying, learning how to punch. I wouldn't punch in real life, obviously, but the whole exercise piece is really important to me. So getting up and doing that. And then also I too got to spend some time with family, which is nice because I don't get to see them often. So
very nice. Great answer. Listen, everyone, if we're airing next week and you see a red shiner, Becky was practicing on me.
Yeah, basically. No. I look completely ridiculous. I do it when everyone's sleeping so no one can see me. But yeah, so
that's all good.
Different things. So of course, Jim, we can't leave our people hanging. Usually we start with a little icebreaker question that they can use in the classroom or with their colleagues, and to get to know us a little bit more. And I skipped that. So question for today, it finished the line for you. It wouldn't be fall without ...
It wouldn't be fall without beautiful fall surroundings.
Ooh, we are very blessed in Pennsylvania, Central Pennsylvania.
Yes, it could be, and that could be open up to everyone. To me, I love the trees. I love the different colors on the trees. I love the view. I love seeing mums in people's yards. I love seeing just some of the fall decorations. And so that's a part of fall I enjoy the most, besides the food and the cider.
There you go. Perfect.
How about you?
So for me,
what? It wouldn't be fall without what for you?
Wouldn't be fall without, I have two things. Pumpkin spice, obviously, I'm addicted to that. I love pumpkin spice anything. And football. Or I guess I could say sports in general. You guys know I love my sports. So football, obviously, it's hard for me right now with minimal college football. I really enjoy watching the college football and the NFL too, actually. But yeah, and we start basketball. So it's when our crazy time is. My husband is soccer. It's nuts, but not right now. So finding our
Yes.
ways, but
Yes.
awesome. And last week we left with the call to action of really focusing on what company you keep. And so this past week, Jim, what are your thoughts about, have you been paying attention to, those 5 people you hang out with most, maybe?
I have. Um, I've been starting to discover that the people in my life that I definitely want part of my life to share wise, I feel as if, and this is just my thoughts here, that I feel like if I needed to discuss anything with them, they're willing to listen
Hmm.
and to either just be a support, maybe help me out, be supportive. And I know that if I ever felt the need that I need to reach out, they're there for me anytime.
That's
And
awesome.
that's just how I am. So I'm finding when I would try to reach out and do not get a response, or it's just I don't have time right now, and I never hear back, I start to think, you know what? I think that they were great for that part. Now I'm on this part of my life, and it's just that progression. So
Yeah, the different seasons. I think it's really hard, especially
yes,
for younger generations, to think about, there are different seasons and different company you keep in the seasons.
yes,
Awesome. Awesome.
yep.
Yeah.
So how about you?
Well, I'm finding that I love to hang out with people. As you know, I'm a social butterfly. I like to talk with people and everything. But I also find myself always go, go, go. And yes, I love company and I have my core group of people, and other people as well. But I've really been focusing this week on realizing that my most important company is the company I keep with myself, which I know sounds a little hypocritical than what we're discussing in the book and everything. Um, but I'm learning the importance of learning about myself, how to keep company and be comfortable with who I am in those moments. I think that's hard sometimes for people, I don't want to say like me, but people that like go, 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 to learn
Mhm.
how to entertain yourself in your own company. And I'm learning that the balance of having that weekend where I have me time, where my kickboxing comes in,
Mhm.
that it can be really important. So I think I think I enjoy company, and that I've spent a lot of time thinking about who I hang out with, kind of thing, to help challenge and bring out the best in me. But now I'm focusing on how do I keep me as company, if that makes sense.
Becky, I love that answer. I love that answer. In some ways, that's why I said that's where like you and I have a lot in common because I've been the same way lately. Like I will reach out to others, but at the same time, it's like, what can I do to take care of me so that I can try to be my very best so that I can be there for others, but at the same time, I need to be there for me as well.
A
So
hundred
it's
percent.
find that balance. So trying to find that balance, which is what I've been working on. And so, but great, very nice.
That is wonderful. Yeah, I don't it's a whole life journey, life process, which you and I
Yes.
talked about, because as
Yep.
we're getting into chapter 2, you and I started really drafting out our whys, and we talked about it's not fine-tuned, and we're going to be super vulnerable out there at the world, and start sharing our why process. So Jim, before we get into that, what stuck out with you with chapter 2?
Chapter 2, I started to realize as far as being able to just find that why for us and realizing that it doesn't have to be complex. It could just be very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Why? And I started taking it a little more. Sometimes I think in order to be far as with a group, we need to find our why for ourselves.
Right.
It's just my take on it. And as I said, we get into that everyday routine. You know, we get up, we get around, we go to work, we come home, we take care of what needs to be taken care of at home. Next thing we know, we find it's 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I'm thinking, what did I really do for me today? So it's kind of like and it's like and it's like repeat. It's like setting the same DVD over and over again.
Right.
It's just that repeat, repeat. So I just found like by doing this, just taking that step back, and it's okay to start finding new interests. And maybe we're not the same person we are 1 year ago, or we will not be the same person we are 1 year from now. So, and it's great. So it's helping me to redefine and what's even though like there's areas where I'm changing, what's staying the same? And I
Mhm.
think what's staying the same is helping me to figure out what my why potentially may be. So,
Right. Yeah, you bring up a lot of like great points right there about how when you brought up that your why can be very, I don't want to, it's simple. I have like that it aligns with a new perspective. It can change your course. But it's okay if you don't, if you're not 100% sure what it is yet. I highlighted or underlined, I should say, on page 36 it says you're like it is referring to your why, like your why is everlasting and must be relevant in both your personal and professional life. And so I think it's really interesting because even when you're trying to find what you do in your life, it should always be tied back to your why. And so when I think about when I came on board with when I was looking for jobs, you know, I wanted to find the right company, the right organization that fits with my own personal why, and we'll talk about that I think next week as well. But your why, I like the idea. People say now, and I've really taken this to heart, like you shouldn't have to take a vacation from your own life, you know. And so when I say I
yes.
just need a getaway, when I find myself saying that, yes, getting away is great. I love traveling, as you know, it's one of my passions. But when I look at it in the perspective of I need to get away, I think, why am I saying that? I need to change something in my daily life because it shouldn't be a getaway. And so your why, if you're really living your why out, you know, it should be professional and personal. You shouldn't have a why for your professional and a why for your personal. It should be both when you're trying to craft it. And I also like the idea of, um, if you've ever read the book, trying to think if I have it. It might be on my bookshelf. But The Red Rubber Ball, and by Kevin Carroll. And he's an old, he was a, you know, worked for ESPN and everything. I have it somewhere. But anyways, his idea is that you shouldn't be able to tell if you're at work or if you're at play. So when you're at work, you should be playing, like it should be fun. And so I've always taken that with me now, ever since I read that book,
Mhm.
because it's really important. So awesome.
Absolutely. I love it. Love that statement.
Yeah. So when we looked at chapter 2, you know, if you're
Yes.
going through, everyone out there listening, if you're going through this why process with us, they talk about the first thing that you want to do is gather stories. So you have your accountability partner, which we'll talk about next week. Jim's on that next week. Um, you're going to gather your stories and then share them with your group. Try to make about 10 of them, right? Really get deep. Page 33 talks about like rediscover the details, the feelings, the conversations that were had with your most
Mhm.
favorite, you know, memories and stories about life and the lessons. Okay.
Yes.
Make that list of 10, and then it talks about narrowing it to 5 or 6 and share it with your accountability partner. If you don't have accountability partner, Jim, raise your hand. We're right here. You can email us and we would love to hear your stories, you know, 5 or 6 of them.
Absolutely.
Right. And then start looking at with your partner, okay, as I'm sharing these discussions, these stories, what themes are coming out of it? And so identifying the different themes, and then you can start drafting your why. So you have to do that front work first. Really take some time in a journal or something to write out your stories and share them then once they're written out. Jim, you want to add anything about those first 2 steps?
Yes, just by going through it, like I said, that's what I was trying to do when I was trying to find my why. And it's kind of like just going through when I have my why statement now that I'm, was working on and looking back throughout my life, it does play that role as far as that statement.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just think about those stories if it was in your childhood, something that really sticks out. Just leading up to, let's say, college or going to any type of schooling, just as far as in your role career-wise, or just with family, especially family. I'm sure if you have kids, you remember so many different stories, what was happening. And it could be ones that were, great, wonderful memories. And it could be ones, maybe it's something that you would learn from, maybe something that happened that wasn't so good, but that's something like, what kind of lesson did you learn from it?
Yeah. He mentions about like quality. So when you bring that up, it makes me
Yes.
think about like it's the quality of the story. Sometimes it's hard and it can be triggering to think of sometimes the uneasy stories. And that's why you have that accountability to share with, because it's going to make you pretty vulnerable. But don't feel like you have to go through this process alone.
Yes.
And once you get those 2 steps, then you start drafting your why. And remember, they mention, Simon Sinek, and they start talking about keeping it simple and clear, like Jim mentioned, like keep it simple, actionable, focused on the effect you'll have on others, and then the affirmative language. And so I really like, this is the first time I've seen this, which I really appreciate, was the formula. And we'll put this in the study guide, but it's actually it is in the study guide, to blank, so that blank. So that first blank, so it would be to, I do this too. And that first blank is focusing on the contribution to others' lives. So that's that first blank. So take some time to think about that. And then you do so that second blank focuses on the impact of your contribution. Okay. So an example would be here, Simon Sinek's why is to inspire people. It's on page 36, but to inspire people to do the things that inspire them, so that together we can change our world. So he really focuses on the action of inspiring others through what inspires them. So igniting that passion. Jim, do you want to put it out there? Your why, and then we have not, just so everyone knows, we have not shared our whys with each other yet. This is
We
the first
have
time.
not.
And they're not perfect. Him and I talked about
No.
that. We want it to be the first draft. You guys see it so you can see we're working through this with you as well.
Yep. First draft, work in progress, and it'll help me to either change, alter, or keep the same. So we'll see how it goes throughout.
I mean, and look, I have all of these like X'd outs, everything. So it's great. See, perfect.
Yep.
All right, go ahead, Jim.
All right, here we go. So eventually you will put your why statement into this format. So on page 35, mine is, drum roll please, to provide helpful tools and support with others and me so that we can grow and make an impact in the lives of all.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. And you can do that in personal, and obviously that's what we do for our profession. So
yes. So I try to tie it in that what kind of support can I always be to someone, and those tools. And at the same time, I need to think about what kind of support can I be to me right now as well.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, so that was mine. Becky, you ready for yours?
Mine is to instill hope for a better thing, a better tomorrow, or a better me or you, so that we feel empowered as an active change agent, ready to make the world a better place.
Oh,
I'm like really big right now. I've been thinking a lot, transitioning into this
love
job.
it.
Thank you. Transitioning this job, thinking about what do I really want people leaving feeling when they interact with me. And so I just really hope maybe they like interact with me and myself. There's times in life where we feel completely deflated, and I just want to provide the hope. And hopefully they leave feeling hopeful, even when they feel like there's no solution. And there might not be, but hopefully walking alongside them gives them some hope. And a change agent, that phrase is, ever since I've been an instructional coach, that's just sort of stuck with me. So, yeah.
And I think this year especially is helping us to kind of reevaluate and relook at things.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's all we have for you guys today. We have our call to action. Our call to action is just that you start working with your why using that formula. Write it out a couple of times, rewrite it, and share it on social with us using the hashtag #AreYouOverbooked. And
yes, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear from you. Think about those stories throughout your life as well, that have made an impact to helping you to start forming your why statement.
Yeah. And I'm going to encourage you, just like Simon Sinek, David Mead, and Peter Docker say in the book on page 37, get out of your comfort zone. Uncover your memories and experiences, the sources of your why. So it's not easy doing this, but together we can find your why. And hopefully you can lead with that in everything you do in life. And for next week, the book's broken down a little bit differently, chapter 3 and chapter 4. So chapter 3, if you're working to dive in individually for your why, you want to read chapter 3. If you are like a educational leader or an organization, like any kind of like a boss, CEO, anything like that, you're going to want to focus on chapter 4. Or even if you're a teacher leader or a team leader and you're trying to redefine a why as a group, you will read chapter 4. So that's sort of the breakdown, but we look forward to seeing you next week. Jim, enjoy your coffee some more. I might need to get another one. It's one of those days again. Again, it's rainy and gloomy. It's fall weather.
Yes, it's fall. And you know what? It was 7 o'clock this morning and it was still dark outside. So
hard, but we soon turn our clocks back. So
yes, we do. So
awesome. We'll see
all of you.
Yes, we'll see you all next week on Tuesday.
Right.
Have a great day.
All right. Take care. Have a great day, everyone.
Great day.
Bye.